If you work hard enough, you can achieve anything.
And if your children work harder, they can surpass even you.
Even if they've given up on themselves for the sake of your success. And it seems parents are pushing their children to push themselves further every day until they push themselves off cliffs. Because that B they got in chemistry just won't cut it. And the A's in every other class don't mean a thing when they were bought and paid for by the PTA. This push for success has left our youth a mess. And the parents need to know what it feels like to live with no hugs or I love yous. Because no matter how hard they try, they can never achieve enough success to make up for their parents' mistakes. As if pushing their children to do more
can never make up for the fact they got stuck in a 9-to-5 thing.
As if pushing their son into sports
can never make up for dad's 5-yard fumble.
As if pushing their daughter into a size 2
can never give her mom her respect back.
As if pushing their children into the closet
can never keep them straight enough to hide the fact that
dad's got a boyfriend on the side. When all these parents need to do
is forgive themselves of their failures,
embrace who they are, and stop messing up their kids.
Because the last thing we need is another child at the end of his rope
who thought he'd hold on a little longer by tying it around his neck.
Or another student who never smiles because her parents won't allow it until her homework is done.
And if she does smile, well, that's just not acceptable.
Not when there are chores left to do.
And she didn't pour her dad a drink yet, and this is how they define success.
As an excess of endless work because the job is never done.
No war is ever won, and our children think it's all so easy.
So maybe they do want life handed to them.
Hell, we all do.
Not on a silver platter,
but in an afternoon embrace.
Not with a silver spoon,
but with a letter that says, I love you.
I really love you.
Especially because you are more than I could ever be.
So until these parents can learn to push their children less
and push themselves a little more, we will continue to see Columbine around the world,
where parents blame the schools,
schools blame the drugs,
drugs become the enemy,
and then somehow we've justified a war on terror when the terror's right here in the backhand of every disappointed parent.
So the next time I hear a parent lash his children until they bleed,
I won't resist the urge to push that parent to the edge. Show him
what he has forced upon his children
and what it truly means to succeed.
Wow. Yeah. So we were just up in Sanilac County with a bunch of students, and we were trying to tell them that it's okay to stand out on your own. You know, a lot of times we get called crazy or we get called different because we don't necessarily go along with the norms. We don't fit into the perfect box that everybody wants to put ourselves in. But we have found that it's often those people who are called crazy throughout history, those people who don't want to just follow the leader, that often cause the most positive and amazing change throughout the world. And so we would like to do a piece in honor of those people and in honor of those crazy minds who have changed the world for the better.
Sometimes I refer to myself as a writer,
more specifically a poet,
a spoken word performer who paints visual pictures with verse.
And on days I feel real creative,
I like to call myself an artist.
But when I take a look around,
I see the greatest artist is working all the time. And so every day God paints us portrait skies and gives us sunset skies that scream, I am not real.
Every time I look at them closely, I wonder how something so beautiful could be real.
How could a cloud look like a red and yellow warrior
holding a pink and purple shield,
standing ready to strike down the wrath of heaven with a single blow from a sword, and at the same time,
my 3-year-old nephew thinks the cloud looks like a rabbit.
And I have to laugh at myself because I know that he's right. And even if he isn't, the imagination of a 3-year-old boy should never be told it's wrong, because it's imagination
that keeps this life beautiful. Yet every day we drive through life's canvas without opening our eyes to its divinity,
because for some reason we believe that tomorrow it will be there again.
And so someday we'll stop to soak it in,
but right now we've got more important things to do, like fight through an hour of traffic just to get to a job we don't even like.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you wait too long to open your eyes,
tomorrow will become today,
today will become yesterday,
and on most yesterdays I remembered thinking that I'd just do it
tomorrow. So now I'm driving myself crazy because I have these small moments of realization,
leaving me with pieces of insanity mixed with bits of enlightenment.
And I'm trying to figure out
which one is more dominant,
or if there's even a difference between.
Because in the end, we're all a little crazy. And the greatest innovators of our time were the most insane of all, Pythagoras.
He was crazy, claiming the world was round.
Martin Luther King Jr.
He was crazy too, claiming that all men are created equal.
Einstein and his theory.
Crazy.
Benjamin Franklin flying his kite.
Crazy.
Hell, they even called the Wright brothers crazy when they try to put a plane in the clouds.
And then there's me.
Sometimes I refer to myself as a cloud, more specifically a warrior cloud.
A promising innovator who paints visual pictures with verse.
And on days I feel real creative, I like to call myself crazy too. But when I take a look around, I see that being crazy
can give us insights into the most beautiful creations.
And God must be the craziest one out of all of us. Because every time I stop to take a look at life's canvas, I realize we are all a part of life's beauty.